All right. Tonight, Seahawks at Cowboys. As you can see, we've got the matchups on the screen there. 23rd best matchup for Geno, 16th best net matchup for Dak. I believe Dak is probably top 5 or 6 for me, and Geno's a high-end QB2. What do you guys got?
Yeah, Dak's MVP right now. Like he's playing at just an absurd level. He has the highest, the lowest turnover worthy throw rate in the NFL and the highest big time throw rate in the NFL. And there's only been like a couple people that have done that in the course of years, like Brady a couple years ago, and Philip Rivers like 09. Like Dak's playing just on a nuclear level. So yeah, Dak's top 5 for me. Like
I misspoke. Dak's 1 for me.
Yeah, he's up there. I haven't looked at my rankings yet.
He's 1. It wasn't top 5. He's 1.
The Seahawks defense just has not been good.
How's the secondary? Are they all healed up there, Jesse?
I mean, kind of, sort of, but we got guys that just
kind of, sort of.
Like Jamal Adams is not what he once was, so he has his issues in coverage as always. Reek Wallen got benched, so they haven't really come out and said how they're going to play this game with he got benched last week, so we'll see. So I don't know. I mean, and Witherspoon's been he's been their best defensive back, but it's just up in the air right now. So yeah, going against this passing attack is not promising for the Seahawks. Let me just say it that way.
Yeah. I feel that. But one thing I do like about Dallas, we know that's a great defense. But one thing I like about Dak is Parsons, Fowler, Mozzie Smith, of course, Jaron Curse. All these guys are potentially not going to play or dealing with some sort of minor injury or illness. So it's possible the Dallas D isn't as great as usual, and they kind of let up some points to the Seahawks. So, yeah, I'm a full go on Dak for sure. Geno, I have to in a spot or two, but no thanks.
I don't believe anything you just said. You know who Geno's leading receiver is going to be? Deron Bland.
Yeah, it's possible. It's certainly possible.
He will lead the Seahawks in touchdown passes. Where do you guys have Geno? I've got him at 17.
Let me see.
He's been a disaster.
18?
Yeah.
I mean, the vibes are bad. The vibes are very bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as much a regression for Geno as it is just this injury and whatever he's trying to play through. It's been a couple of weeks, so you hope to see him turn it around. But San Francisco last week was abysmal. Dallas isn't going to be much better, and then San Francisco again. So he won't turn it around until Philly in Week 15 if he's fully healthy.
Okay.
I'm going to sit him if I can.
So
yeah, he's not on the injury report this week, so I guess he's healthy. But who knows?
After 10 years of sucking, is it possible his one good year may have been an anomaly last year? Like, it's not like he was good for 10 years and this is his one down year. This is what he's been. This is his best season through 10 years if you exclude last year.
Yeah. The only thing I want to say is yes, we're quick to say that, and I understand that. But at the same time, we're seeing the detrimental effects of terrible offensive line play with Patrick Mahomes, with Josh Allen. All of these guys are suffering because their O-line is regressing. All right. Geno isn't doing much better in that regard in the Seahawks. They can run the ball, but they certainly are having difficulty pass protecting for him. I'm not going to throw it all to Geno automatically sucks. I just think they need to figure out better ways to pass protect.
Yeah, it's so last year he had a bunch of turnover-worthy plays. He was up near top of the league. He just didn't have the turnovers. He got a little bit lucky. It's regressing this year, and you're seeing him kind of hit hard. So he kind of is who he is at this point. I think he's a fine NFL quarterback, but leading you to a championship or anything like that just doesn't seem like it's in the range of outcomes for him. But for fantasy-wise, I think you could do worse than Geno because you're talking about they have injuries on the Cowboys and stuff. But yeah, the vibe, if you're starting him, you just got bad vibes. You're like, oh gosh, all right, I'm playing Geno. Let's just hope this works out against the Cowboys defense.
Running back, we have Zach Charbonnet, who's not getting a great matchup despite his potential to be a league winner with what I assume is Ken Walker out. I don't know if it's official. Yeah. Is it official?
Pretty much.
I think it is. I'm assuming he's
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And
he's not going to play.
Fourth best matchup for Tony Pollard. I have them. Pollard at 5. I don't have Zach Charbonnet all that high. He's an RB2 for me. He's 24. Bad matchup. I don't know if I like them in this offense. His workload's going to be there. I could certainly be wrong, but maybe I'll move him up. But for now, he's an RB2 for me, but a low end one. Where are you guys at with these two?
Same range. Like it makes sense. And Pollard, the regression's hitting in a great way, where he could be just like a monster down the stretch, right? It's the volume, the roll, everything's
The
hitting.
matchups are hitting. That's what the regression. He's had 3 weeks in a row where he's been a top 5 matchup. What was it? Carolina last week, and the week before was what, Washington or
Giants.
Yeah, it's been
Washington
3 wonderful matchups. Well, we got to the point where it was like, if Pollard doesn't smash here, he's done, and he smashed.
Right.
So
and then he did.
It's good.
Smash. And Charbonnet's role is so good; it's really hard to knock him. Like without Walker, he basically saw an absurd role. It's just the offense struggled, and I don't think the offense will be as bad. So I expect him to have a better game than he did last week. So he should be fine as an RB2 for you this week.
Yep. I'm looking up Pollard's playoff schedule here.
It's insane. It's right. So he's Seattle, then he gets Philly in week 14. Which look, guys like Tony Pollard and Rashad White, these guys are game script proof, because they're using the passing game, they're using the rush game. So it doesn't matter if they're facing a good rushing defense. He can still perform against Philly. Playoff schedule is Buffalo, Miami, Detroit. I want every Cowboy, but Tony Pollard and Dak Prescott especially.
I want to sell high on Tony Pollard is what I want. I want to sell him after this game going into a bad stretch of games, because as matchup proof as he has apparently is, he hasn't done much in bad matchups this year. So I'd like to get one more good game out of him here. And if your trade deadline hasn't passed, I'm selling Pollard, but you're more than welcome to hang on to him.
Bye.
The receivers here. Well, do I have any Pollard in any leagues you're in? Let me see.
Let's go. I don't think I'm that competitive.
Wide receivers, we have the 28th best matchup for the Seahawks, 14th for the Cowboys. Lamb is a high-end 1. I'm not sure where I have him, but I'm sure it's high. It's 2. He's at 2. Then I think we have 3 Seahawks receivers who are all low-end 2s, high-end 3s for me. I would be willing to bet all 3 of them are ranked somewhere around 25 to 35 for me in a cluster. Where do you guys have these? Oh, DK's my highest at 15. What do you guys have?
Yeah, well, for me on the Dallas side, of course, CeeDee Lamb is going to smash. Gallup, he can't play. I think the real question is Brandon Cooks. What do you think he's going to do? He's very boom bust, right? He's kind of what we expected Gallup to be, and that's great, but it's not necessarily great when you're facing offenses that are struggling, right? So, he could catch 1 or 2, but I prefer a safer play in my flex than someone like Brandon Cooks, and that safer play could be Jackson Smith and Jigba in the slot.
I have Cooks at 32, 1 behind Jaden Reed, and that feels right. Like Jaden Reed feels like he has more upside, but the same volatility.
Yeah. I mean, more mouths to feed in Green Bay, right? But I think with Dallas and with Cooks, he's there. The problem is he isn't getting the targets. The last 2 weeks, just 4 and 5 targets for Cooks. He is converting them, which is nice. But I'd like to see that number a bit higher. But the same issue in Seattle, right? You just don't know where the ball's going every week.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like the Seattle offense, it circulates around those 3 wide receivers, but DK's been their best wide receiver, and he will continue to be their best wide receiver. His role is the best by far. He gets all the end zone targets, all that stuff, but it really hasn't worked out. Like, it's been really up and down for Lockett, and JSN, as much as we liked him as a prospect, has not lived up to that wide receiver 1 in the class overall. There's quite a few wide receivers I would prefer over him at this point in Dynasty, which says what it is. But, it can always get hit. Come on strong. I can't talk. Sorry. But come on strong and hit towards the end of the season. It's just his role's gotten better. It's just he hasn't fully stepped into the wide receiver 2 range. And I don't think that's going to happen for Seahawks because they have Lockett. So he's kind of just capped. So you need him to just be super efficient. And, maybe he gets some yak yards on this play. So he is the lowest of these guys for me. I have him 40, wide receiver 40. I think I have him. Yeah, 37. Then it's Cooks at 30. And then DK and Lockett are back to back. You trust those guys over him. But, it is what it is with him.
Yeah, I just want to say the reason I like JSN is because he is getting, since the bye in week 5, which is early, he is getting consistent yardage. The volume is a little inconsistent, and I'd like to see him get a bit more than 4 receptions per game. But, I think that can only continue to grow. The problem is the tough matchups with San Francisco, Dallas, San Francisco again. That's the real issue. But I think he's going to be better down the stretch here.
Is there a way to mute his audio so that Jeremy can't hear me say I agree with Jeremy? You want to do that, Jesse? I don't want him to hear that and get a big ego on him. I agree. All right. Tight ends. We have a bad matchup for both tight ends, but I still have Ferguson at 10. You can play him. Kickers, bad matchup for Myers. I think he's playable. He's really risky, but I don't mind this spot. I feel like they're going to get stopped a lot and be forced to long field goals. I have Myers. Actually, I have him lower than I expected, I think. Where the hell is he? Oh, yeah, I do. I am at 15. You can play Aubrey even in a mediocre matchup. He is 3 for me, so play him. You can play Myers if you want to. I want no part of the Seahawks DST, and I am starting the Cowboys. They are my DST number 4. How about you guys? Anything there that you disagree with?
No, it's hard to bench the Cowboys defense because they've been the best fantasy defense in the league. So you're going to ride with them against an offense that's been suspect at best, and they pressure Geno, like that's when the turnovers come. So it could be a good game for them.
When I'm betting one of their defensive players on an anytime touchdown, you know you have to start the DST.
Yes.